My own mother just ruined her ex-husband's life. He flew 6 hours just to attend my brother's wedding. And when he arrived, all he saw was a big white tent with a lot of chairs in the middle of nowhere. He didn't know that my mom had rented out the whole place just so she could marry off our brother. He was very angry because he had taken time off work, booked days off, traveled 6 hours just to see his son get married. But when he got there, he wasn't even allowed inside the actual ceremony. I think it was so unfair. So I took matters into my own hands and went to confront my mom about it. But before I could say anything, she slapped me across the face. She was so angry. She told me that I was embarrassing her by standing up for my dad and that he deserved to be thrown out. And then she kicked me out of the wedding and threw me into the same tent where our guests were having their dinner. I was furious, but mostly I felt bad for my dad. I saw him being forced to sit on a chair behind the trash cans while watching my brother and the other family members walk in. I wanted to make things right again, but I didn't know how. I mean, I was only 19 years old. Then suddenly, like a miracle, a waiter came over and asked if I would come help clear out some tables. I quickly agreed, and when I did, I noticed something strange. There were 3 empty, long tables in a row, and they were reserved for a very important guest of honor. It said, the groom's family, which meant they were supposed to sit right in front of everyone else. But where were they? When the waiter saw me staring at the empty table, he whispered that they had actually left already. Apparently, they had gotten into a huge fight with my mom. They couldn't stand her and her lies. She had promised them a beautiful wedding with a church ceremony, but instead she had rented out some random place in the middle of nowhere and had tried to force them to sign papers establishing that this marriage was my brother's idea and not hers. The groom's entire family refused to cooperate and stormed out, leaving behind those 3 empty seats. I was furious. My mom had tricked them all, and now she wouldn't have anyone to blame when things went south. This is exactly what always happens. She never sticks to her word. But this time, she had pushed it way too far. Not only had she humiliated my dad in front of everybody, but now she had no one to blame when the groom's family took their revenge. They had planned to arrive together in style. The groom's father is really rich. He owns a construction company, and he had even chartered a helicopter to take them from their hotel straight to the wedding. But when they heard that my dad was being treated like trash, they refused to show up. The bride's entire family sat in that tent arguing about what to do. Should they still show up? Would they be welcomed? What would people think? And what would the media say? But after hearing that my dad had been treated poorly, they decided to cancel their attendance and go back to the hotel. That was when the groom's father contacted his pilot and instructed him to get ready. In less than 20 minutes, a black private jet touched down on the airstrip not far away from the wedding location. One by one, all the important guests got into the helicopter and were flown to the jet. They left the bride and her mother sitting in the tent. When the groom's family arrived at the jet, they found my dad waiting for them. He explained that he had called them as soon as he realized what had happened. Together, they made a grand entrance. Everyone stared at them as they passed by. All the guests cheered and applauded, and then they all took their places in the front row. They had taken over the whole thing. I couldn't believe my eyes. Just moments ago, my dad had been sitting behind the trash cans, but now he was sitting in the front row next to his son. The wedding began and my brother looked happier than ever. His bride was beautiful and the party was amazing. But there was one person who wasn't having fun at all. It was my mom. She had lost all power now. She had lost her ex-husband, her son, and all her guests. She was completely alone and I felt sorry for her, even though she had slapped me. All the bride's family showed up, but she had no one to blame. When they left, no one sided with her. They all agreed that she had acted unhinged and it was her fault that everything went downhill. No one even congratulated her. No one even acknowledged her presence. And I think that hurt her the most. After the ceremony, we all went outside for pictures. My dad picked me up and put me on his shoulders, and I got to take a picture of the whole family. We were finally together again, and I knew that nothing could ever tear us apart. Thank you for listening to my story.